Welcome to General Biology. So in this video, I'm going to discuss how to navigate through the Blackboard site. The first tab you'll see here is the Announcements tab. So under Announcements, you're going to see all of the announcements that I post for you. It's really important that you check these often to make sure that you're not missing anything for the course. And then you'll see this Startup Welcome message that kind of gives you directions for getting started with the course. Under the Syllabus tab, you're going to find the syllabus for this course. The syllabus contains all of the information about the format, the dates, the times, how to get in touch with me. So it's really important that you click on this link to open up the syllabus and actually read through it. The extremely important part is going to be in the middle of the syllabus. In the middle of the syllabus, you're going to find the course schedule with all of the due dates listed. So you want to make sure to print out the whole syllabus and make note of all of those due dates so that you don't miss anything important for the course. Under the Textbook Information tab, that's the information about the textbooks. So in this course, you are required to purchase the the McGraw-Hill Connect Virtual Biology Labs. So there's actually two things that are required, the OpenStax textbook and the biology labs, but the OpenStax textbook is provided to you for free. You can download the entire textbook for free by clicking on this link. If you want a hard copy of the book, then you're going to have to purchase it, and there's lots of different purchasing options for you to be able to purchase the hard copy, but to get it free, to download it, and to just view it on the website, you can just click on this link and it's completely free. The thing that you have to purchase though is this Connect Virtual Labs for Biology. There's a couple different purchasing options. So you can purchase through the bookstore using those directions, and then you can purchase directly through McGraw-Hill using those directions. Regardless of how you purchase it, in order to start activating this, what you should do is you should click on Learning Modules, go into the Module 1, and then scroll down and click on Lab 1 Graded Tutorial. When you click on this, it's going to take you to a login page, and that's going to allow you to connect your McGraw-Hill Connect access to your Blackboard gradebook. If you do it this way, as soon as you complete something in Connect, it's automatically going to be graded in Blackboard, and this is the way that you should be setting up your McGraw-Hill. So when you click on this first lab activity, it's going to take you to the login page. It's going to ask you to enter the code that you purchased. So if you purchased it through the bookstore, it's going to be like a card with a scratch off on it, and then you're going to type in that code and register. Or it's going to have you purchase access. So there's an option to purchase access, and that you can't use your financial aid money for. You would have to just pay for that out of pocket. It is significantly cheaper if you purchase it that way, but it'll ask for your credit card information. You'll purchase it and get immediate access. If you don't have any money or any means of purchasing this for the first couple weeks of class, there is a temporary access option where it'll give you temporary access for, I believe, 14 days. But I caution you against using that option because as soon as it expires, you have to pay at that point. So if you can make it work, pay for it up front and get the full access right away. And that way you can start completing the labs without any interruption in like your assignments. So that's the textbook information. Instructor information gives you some information about me and my background. And then we get to learning modules. The learning modules has this welcome, let's learn biology statement. Assignments in this course are going to be colored red. They're going to have red on them somewhere. And then if you can't see color, they're also going to say the word graded. So if something says graded on it, then you know it's an assignment that's due. Supplemental items, these are just some extra YouTube videos and stuff that you can review if you would like to. Nothing in this folder is required for this class or is ever due, but sometimes the supplemental stuff helps students get a better understanding about the course. The pre-work module should be completed before the first day of class. So before the listed start day of the class, you want to try to get this pre-work module done. The pre-work module gives you instructions, and it reminds you, FYI, assignments are in red and have the word graded on them. And then it tells you to watch the welcome video, read the training for success in online science courses, and take the quiz that goes with it. Read the laboratory safety training documents and take the quiz that goes with it. And then the orientation meeting. So this orientation meeting will be different for each course section. So for this course section, it happens to be this date and time, but you need to check your own Blackboard shell to make sure that you're getting the correct time. The link is also going to be different. It's not always going to be this link. So just make sure you actually go into your PreWork module and look at what time. This orientation meeting is required, or you will be dropped from the course. So it's one of the course requirements that prevents you from being dropped. It basically just makes me aware that you have started the course, that you know that the course has started, you're able to access everything in Blackboard, and that you're able to use Zoom, because you can't be successful in an online science course if you're not able to get into Blackboard, if you're not able to use Zoom, and if you aren't starting the course when the course starts. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page when we start the course, I require this mandatory orientation meeting. For each section, there's going to be a daytime and a nighttime option, and usually that works out for everybody. So make sure you check your own Blackboard Shell PreWork tab for that. It also tells you to purchase access to the McGraw-Hill Connect, and then review the syllabus. So you want to make sure you get through that checklist before the class even starts. Then we go through the learning modules. And for this course, it's broken down into 7 modules, and then there's the final exams. In each module, it's structured in an identical way. So there's a welcome or introductory video. There's a list of items that you have to complete. There's lecture assignments, where there's a study guide, the lectures, which are voiceover PowerPoints, and then the textbook chapter that you'll have to read with graded questions that go with them. And in each module, it typically covers 2 kind of sections worth of material. So if you're in a regular 14 to 15 week type course, then you typically get 2 weeks to complete a module. If you're in the condensed 7 or 8 week course, then you only get 1 week to complete a module. So you really want to make sure that you review those due dates in the syllabus. So what you have to do for lecture is you're going to download this study guide, and then a lot of students like to print it out and have it next to them while they're listening to the lectures. The lectures, I give you my PowerPoints that I actually use in the videos. So the PowerPoints are here, and then I start lecturing over those PowerPoints in these videos. So they go in order, so Module 1, Part 1A, and then you see that this is a supplemental video. Then this is Part B, Part C, and then we get to Part 2, new set of PowerPoint slides, and then we've got A, this is a supplemental video, B, C, that's supplemental, and then we've got D, and another supplemental video. So all of these are recommended in order to fill out that study guide. So your goal is to have that study guide in hand and then fill it out as you're going through those lectures. Then your next job is to actually read through the textbook. There are some questions that will kind of help you understand the reading a little bit better. So you're going to read through the textbook and then answer the questions. Many of the chapter questions come directly out of the textbook. Some of them are modified, so they're a little bit different than the questions you read directly in the textbook. But either way, you have to answer the questions. They say graded, and they're highlighted here in red, so you know that that's an assignment that's due. You're going to read the next set of chapters or the next chapter in the book, and then you're going to answer those graded questions. To help you study the content, there are Quizlets. Quizlets are flashcards, so they're virtual flashcards that have been put together for you based on the terms that are in the study guide. So you can click on that link, you can create a Quizlet account for free, and then you have access to the flashcards that I put together for you. So you just click through them and you can memorize them and study them that way. A lot of students think that they don't have to memorize anything in this course because it is an online course, and they assume that it's just going to be open note and unlimited time, and they don't have to actually study anything or really learn anything in this class. And that's really not the case. So it's very important that you actually study this stuff and you actually do some memorization and use those Quizlets to help you memorize, or whatever other methods that you're going to use to help you memorize the course content. Because if you don't, each one of these tests has a timer on it, and a lot of times students will run out of time on the test and then they end up not doing so great. So you really have to study the material up front so that you can do well when it comes to test time. For the lab assignments, you can see they're from McGraw-Hill. So you just click on them, it'll take you to McGraw-Hill, you complete the lab, when you press submit, it'll automatically populate the grade in the Blackboard gradebook. So there's multiple labs due for each module. These labs last anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour typically. Students tend to really love the labs. They usually whip through them pretty quickly, and I've had a lot of positive feedback that they've learned a lot from the labs. So this is how we do our lab experiments in this course, since it's an online course. And then at the end of the module, there's a test. It tells you how many questions, how long you have to take it, how many attempts, and for each one, your best attempt counts. So that's how a typical module goes. If we go to the next module, you can see it's identical in structure. So it's got that introductory video, some directions, the lecture assignments, the lab assignments, and a test. Then we get to the final exam. The final exam is in here, and you can see that Respondus Monitor is required. Respondus Monitor is a tool that will proctor the exam for you, so you have to download a special browser, and then you have to have a webcam and be in a quiet room by yourself in order to take the final exam. This is to ensure that the person who enrolled in the course is the person who's completing the final exam. The monitor part will ask you to take a picture of your government-issued ID, so you'll have to have a photo ID in order to start the exam. It'll take a picture of your face, a picture of your ID. It'll ask you to take a camera of your surroundings, so it'll ask you to rotate around your room and show your surroundings. And it wants to make sure that you're alone in the room so that nobody is helping you with the exam. And it'll have a camera on you the entire time that you're taking the exam to make sure that you are the person that's completing the exam. For this course, I don't care if you use your notes or not. You can definitely have resources out. I'm not going to be too picky about whether you use resources. However, Respondus will lock down your computer, so you won't be able to Google anything or go to any other websites while you're doing the Respondus exam. So there's some directions here, there's a video that talks about Respondus, and this is the link to actually download the Respondus lockdown browser. When you go to take the final exam, you're going to open up the Respondus lockdown browser, and you're going to enter the exam through that browser. So it's a separate icon that's on your desktop of your computer. You're going to enter in through that. You're not going to go to Blackboard like through Google Chrome or anything. You're going to enter into Blackboard through the Respondus monitor, and you're going to start taking the exam through that monitor. So when you get into Respondus, then you would access the exam and click through it and go through the exam and then submit it through a Respondus monitor. The other tabs here, you can see Virtual Meeting Room. So I will always provide a link to my Zoom office hours. This link is going to change each semester, as is my office hour times. So when you go into your own Blackboard shell, you're going to click on that Virtual Meeting Room link, and then this is how you'll join Zoom meetings with me all semester. So for that mandatory week 1 orientation meeting, this is the link you're going to use. For any of my office hours, anytime you request a virtual meeting with me, this is how we're going to meet. Email is the best way to contact me. So if you click on email, you have some options for who to email in the class. You can email all instructor users, which it'll just come to me. You can email your classmates, so all users comes to me and everyone in the class. All student users goes to your classmates. You can reach out to anyone you want by using this function. This is the best way to contact me, is by clicking on this email and then clicking on all instructor users, because that brings with it your course number. And that makes it really easy for me to know exactly what section you're in and answer your questions a lot faster if you click on the email and then email me through the Blackboard function. If you don't email me through the Blackboard function, I just ask that you put your section number at some place in your email, so that way I know what section you're talking about. Discussion board is optional. I never look at the discussion board. You guys can post questions to each other if you wish. It's open, it's an open forum, but nothing in there is ever going to be assigned. My Grades gives you the current grade in the class, so that's a weighted total percentage, and you can review your grade at any time. Typically, assignments are going to be due on Sundays, so then Mondays are when I make sure that I update the gradebook and make sure everything's accurate in the gradebook. So at any given time, you can always just click on that My Grades tab and see how you're doing in the course. Student Resources provides additional resources to you. There's a video here that's explanation of weighted total grades. So some students want to add up their total points, divide by the total points possible in the course, and figure that that's their grade, and that's not the case. So I grade on a weighted total. This video explains what that means and how to do the math behind it. And then there's some links for accessing virtual tutoring, how to join Zoom on a computer, smart device, how to email through Blackboard, how to submit an assignment. We don't submit any assignments like this through Blackboard, so that's not something you really have to worry about for this class, but it is there if you have to do it for other classes. How to post to a discussion forum, and then there's links to student services. I don't know if you knew this, but as a student at Gateway, you get free Microsoft Office for your computer, and you can download it up to I think 8 devices or something like that. So you can click on that and get free Microsoft Office for your computer. And then there's Blackboard support, the Maxient report, Campus Life, and all that type of stuff. So and student accident insurance gives you temporary health-related accident insurance provided at no cost to you. So if any of this is of interest to you, you can read through that and look at it. And then diversity and inclusion just talks about resources for boosting diversity and inclusion in the sciences. And then the rest of this is just additional links to help you. BrainFuse is live virtual tutoring that's available 24/7. And that's something that students have found helpful before. So you can look through the rest of this stuff on the Blackboard page. Otherwise, be sure to read the syllabus very carefully, and that provides all the additional information about the course structure and format, due dates, and all that type of stuff that you will need for this course.